Justice Mendoza, would you like to start?
Tony Noche, you referred earlier to the Constitution as the basis of your definition or of your statement that life begins from conception. The respondent, as you have said, has redefined it as implantation. Is this implantation of the fertilized ovum in the uterus, was this the intention of the framers regarding the definition of conception?
If Your Honors please, the records of the Constitutional Commission are very clear. There were extensive discussions on this, Your Honors, and it was very clear that the intention was that conception should refer to fertilization, and that fertilization is the meeting of the egg and the sperm, resulting in the formation of a fertilized ovum or zygote. There was no mention at all, Your Honors, about implantation.
Implantation was mentioned because apparently Congressman Lagman asked the United Nations regarding the meaning of conception, and the United Nations answered that it began with conception begins with the implantation. What do you say?
If Your Honors please, with due respect to the United Nations was not a part of the deliberations in the Constitutional Commission. And the Constitutional Commission, the records of the Constitutional Commission are very clear, Your Honor, that conception refers to fertilization, because the intention was to protect life at the earliest or at the very moment that it exists. So they very consciously and deliberately took the safest approach, lest they were afraid that human life would be lost. So there was a conscious effort to make sure that life at the very moment it exists would be protected, Your Honors.
A fertilized ovum has life already. It is a human person.
Yes, Your Honor.
It has already a DNA.
Yes, Your Honor.
How about, you mentioned about contraceptives. How about contraceptives before fertilization, which is the meeting of the sperm with the egg? What is your position on that?
On which, Your Honor, may I did not quite get...
About the use of contraceptives to prevent fertilization, what is your position on that?
Well, that is allowed right now, Your Honor. Prior to fertilization, if it's because the word itself connotes that it prevents fertilization. So prior to fertilization, there's no problem with that, Your Honors.
So you have
Your
no
Honor.
objection against tubal ligation or vasectomy, like that, and the use of condom?
Well, Your Honor, tubal ligation, vasectomy, even condoms, they cannot be classified as abortifacients. But we believe, Your Honor, that those are still objectionable because they constitute mutilation under the revised penal code.
But there is no violation of the
Section 12, Article 2.
Constitution. There is no violation.
Of Section 12, Article 2, insofar as tubal ligation, vasectomy, did you say? Yes, Your Honor.
You mentioned some contraceptives as abortifacients. How can IUD be an abortifacient?
If Your Honor, please, it's already, there have been extensive studies and findings on this, that IUDs, Your Honors, they cause inflammation of the uterine or of the uterus, and so they affect the uterine lining, and they also affect the capacity of the uterus for implantation, Your Honor. And so it also makes, the IUD also makes the implantation inhospitable, or the uterus inhospitable for implantation.
So you're referring to viability of the fertilized ovum.
If Your Honors, please, may I ask, if Your Honor, may I ask what you mean by viability, Your Honor?
No, I was reading the papers from the United Nations, and they said that fertilized ovum who has not reached the uterus has no probability of surviving.
If Your Honor, please, the records of the Constitutional Commission are also very clear. While viability was discussed, they did not consider viability as a factor for determining the existence of life or when protection of life should begin. As far as when asked, actually, when Commissioner Felicitas Aquino was asked about viability, she said that, you know, it is not sure whether the fertilized ovum is going to live or not. And then Commissioner Noliedo said, it's the same thing with adult human beings. You know, we are also not sure. I mean, we can also die anytime. So, and with that, Commissioner Felicitas Aquino just deferred to Professor or to Commissioner Noliedo. So viability wasn't considered at all, Your Honor, in the determination of the existence of life or when protection of life should begin by our constitutional fathers, Your Honor.
You were referring to Commissioner Noliedo.
Yes, Your Honor.
He mentioned about presumptive personality.
Yes,
What can you say of that?
If Your Honor, please, there was also a lot of discussion about the lack of personality of the fertilized ovum to demand the right to life from conception. And it was meant, the Civil Code provision on, which is Article 40 of the Civil Code was cited. And it was said that it's only at birth that a person can is conferred a personality. First, Your Honors, we're not talking here of personality. We're talking here of the protection of life from conception, Your Honor. And then there's also that provision, or the Civil Code provision, which says that a conceived child is considered born for all purposes that are favorable to it. And this is, Your Honor, a provision that's favorable, definitely favorable to the unborn. So, and the protection of life will be considered meaningless, Your Honor, if the unborn is not conferred even a limited or presumptive personality. And this is just for the purpose of demanding or claiming this right to life from conception. It is not really a personality that's going to enable the unborn to enter into property relations. So the unborn was conferred a presumptive personality. And the book of Senator Tolentino also referred to a limited personality of the unborn.
Are all hormonal contraceptives abortifacients?
Yes, Your Honors. Your Honor.
How about life-threatening drugs? If a pregnant woman is in danger and there is a need to administer to her life-threatening drugs, but which has the effect of aborting a child. What is your position on that?
There is a principle of double effect, Your Honor. First, we have to remember the mandate of the Constitution, which is that the life of the mother and the life of the unborn shall be, and the life of the unborn from conception shall be equally protected. So that generally, Your Honor, the life of the mother and the life of the unborn shall be protected. If that's not possible, Your Honor, then one life may be saved, okay, provided that the harm to the other life, okay, is unavoidable or unintended, Your Honor. So, in order to achieve a good, okay, the other life may be harmed, okay, but the consequence, the negative consequence, is unavoidable or unintended.
In your reply, you mentioned that IUDs are not safe. Can you expound on this?
How is that again, Your Honor?
In your reply,
Yes, Your Honor.
you mentioned that IUDs are not safe. Can you expound on this?
If Your Honors, please, IUDs also contain hormones which are abortifacients, Your Honor, and of course we know very well that IUDs are foreign objects. And so, as I said earlier, IUDs cause inflammation of the uterus, and the inflammation sometimes extends up to the fallopian tube. So, cases of ectopic pregnancy for people or for women who use IUDs are very common, Your Honor, and they have been documented, Your Honor.
So you also mentioned that IUDs cause ectopic pregnancy.
Yes, Your Honor.
So when there is ectopic pregnancy, the fertilized ovum does not reach the uterus.
Yes, Your Honor.
So it has life.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
If I may add, Your Honor,
Yes.
from the moment of fertilization, it has life.
Yes, yes. That's all, Chief.